Hunter B here, going to talk to you today about the Ruger LC9s for striker fire. I've had a concealed carry permit now for over 35 years, carried all manner of size and shape of handgun, and for me, if I'm going to be carrying something, it has to be comfortable. If it's not comfortable, it's going to be staying at home, put away, and useless. What use is that? It's not on me. It's got to be comfortable for me to have it on me. And the LC9 is comfortable. Now, for many years, carried a J-frame revolver, which was small, and I had the lightweight one. And then Kel-Tec came out with the 40 caliber. I got that and had that for quite a long time, but the sights popped off, and they sent them back, sent me new ones. I ordered new ones, and they were plastic. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They were plastic. At least the front sight was plastic, or was it the rear? Whatever it was, they were plastic. But I still had it for a long time. And then when the original Ruger LC9 came out, I looked at it. I really liked it, and I traded the Kel-Tec for the original LC9. The original LC9 had a long trigger pull, double action only, long trigger pull. But I was all right with that because for many years I practiced with an old Model 10 snub nose and double action only. I shot a ton of ammo through that, but practicing, just quick shooting and double action only. So I was used to that long LC9 trigger pull, but I always wished it was just a little, I wished it was better. Just wished it were a better trigger. Then they came out with the striker fired. I traded the regular LC9 for this, and I'm very pleased with it. The trigger is short, consistent, very nice. I like a double action only. I like a consistent trigger pull. I'm not fond of the double action, single action type of semi-auto where you got that first shot is that long first shot, long heavy trigger pull, followed by all subsequent light single action. I don't like that because to me going from the long trigger pull to the light single action, that inconsistency in trigger pull to me is conducive to an accidental discharge. It just increases the chances during a tense situation of it going off with that light subsequent shots. Either all single shot like a 1911 or all double action only. It's that consistency that breeds familiarity. It's motor memory. So I'm very pleased with this with the new trigger that they have here. Some things about the gun. Has a live round indicator where you could see when there's a brass cartridge in there, through there, or even through the top. You could see just by a glance that there's a live round there. That brass just shines right through. The sights are okay. For a small handgun, it's kind of nice that they're dovetailed in. So if you want to change them, get something that you might prefer better, you can just knock these things out and replace them with something else. I don't know how difficult it's going to be because this front sight, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a roll pin holding it in addition to the dovetail. If it were me, I mean, it doesn't look like it would be too difficult to knock out, but if it were me, I would probably have a gunsmith do it. But you can have it done, which is nice. It comes with a 3-dot system. They're all white, which I didn't care for. What I did, and I'm going to see if I can get this angle. I can't really see it, but I'm going to move this around a little bit for you. What I did is right on that front sight, I got some testers, blaze orange. Put just a dot in there. And that front sight now really jumps out at me when I'm looking at it, especially when it's between those two white dots in the back. I don't know if you can see it though, but that blaze orange really jumps out. It's really nice. So it should have came that way, but it is what it is. It's fine the way it came. It has a slide stop, which is great. A lot of small guns don't have it. The original LC9, they redesigned this here. So this, I'm assuming, has the new one. Having that slide stop is nice. The magazine catch, conveniently located. When I first got this, I had a problem with the magazine catch. It was literally gouging. I mean, literally gouging my magazine. You could push it in, you could feel it. It was terrible. So I sent it back to Ruger. They promptly fixed it and sent it back with a new mag, and I think it's great now. Has a manual safety. Right there. A lot of people don't like the manual safety. They feel, because it does have an integral trigger safety, they feel with the trigger integral safety alone, it's as safe as a double action revolver. It's not going to go off until you squeeze that trigger. And there is a validity to that. I don't mind having a safety. I'm familiar with safety. I've had handguns with safeties. And to me, it's not unlike the 1911, at least knocking it off. Putting it on, it's a different motion. But knocking it off, it's like a 1911. If you're used to 1911, turning it off is very similar. Putting it on is different. A lot of people don't like that safety though, and it's a valid point, especially in a double action only type of handgun. Has a magazine disconnect. What magazine disconnect means is cannot be fired without a magazine in the round. Now, a lot of people don't like that. It doesn't matter to me too much because that's the way it comes, but again, it is a valid point. If the magazine is, you're in between changing mags and you have a live round in the chamber, you cannot fire this. Without a magazine disconnect during a magazine exchange, with a live round to fire, if you need to, you can fire it off. And, you know, that's the difference. And it could be the difference, I mean, it could be a big difference. A lot of people don't like the magazine disconnect. And they don't like the manual safety. Well, Ruger has listened to you folks, and they've come out with the Pro model, which has neither manual safety or magazine disconnect. So, if the Pro model were out when I was looking at this, I'd be hard pressed. I would probably take the Pro model. I like having a safety because sometimes I do carry this in a heavier winter jacket or coat. I have a couple coats that have heavy material. I can carry this right in the front pocket. It doesn't print because of the heavy material. And having a safety makes me a little bit more comfortable while it's in the pocket. But I'd have to give it some thought, because I think I would prefer the Pro model over this. But this is what I have now, and you know, I'm okay with it the way it is. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the magazine release is right here, which is conveniently located. Comes with a flat floor plate and a finger floor plate. As you can see, I prefer the finger floor plate. You know, the flat one makes the gun a little bit more concealable, but it's concealable enough. And I just like that little bit with the finger floor plate. What I don't like about it is the grip. The grip is nice insofar as it's got checkering all over, the back strap, the front strap, the sides, but it's thin. Now, I'm not going to take this, what I have off, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, but it's thin, and I just didn't like it. So what I did, don't know if you can see it, but I purchased this Pachmayr rubbery tacky thing, and it's fantastic for this gun. I mean, to me, it makes a world of difference. It just slips right on there. The only thing I didn't like about it is it came with palm swells on both sides. And, you know, when there was a palm swell right here, where my fingers were. And I didn't like that. It's okay back here. It goes right there. It just adds enough bulk to the grip for my hand that I like it. And what I did is I turned this thing inside out and I ground out the palm swell from the inside. I ground it out. You got to be very careful though, because if you take too much off, it's going to split on you. But for me, for this gun, this is a must. I really, really like it with that Pachmayr rubber tack-on thing. I might have had to cut a little bit off. I don't remember. It's been on here for quite a while. It was on my original LC9. But it makes a world of difference for me. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Overall, I really like this gun. I like it because it's consistent trigger pull, and I also like it. I'm okay with a 9mm. I prefer something better, but for me, consistency and accuracy are the two things that you really need. And you're only going to be accurate by being proficient. And I'm a cheap guy, so I like the 9mm because I could buy cheap ammo at Walmart. I can buy that Federal aluminum cased stuff cheap, or you buy that Herter's aluminum stuff at Cabela's, buy a case of it. It's cheap, and you can practice and get a lot of practice in banging away with that cheap ammo, which is going to make you a good shot. You really need to be proficient with your firearm if you're going to be carrying it. If you buy one of those big powerhouses and you can't afford the ammo and you're only shooting a box or two a year, you're not going to be proficient. You're not going to be proficient with your firearm, and you might even be a danger. So I like the 9mm because they've come out with new ammo for defensive purposes that's good, and you can practice with the cheap stuff, and that's really what it's all about. Is you have to practice and be proficient. Repetition is the mother of retention. The more you repeat that, those motor skills, the more accurate you're going to be. What do I carry with this? This is an old Cobra that I used to have. It's a belt holster. I used to have use with my Caltech, and this LC9 fits right in there. It has a snap, which a lot of people don't like, but I've been carrying snap holsters for over 35 years, so I'm very familiar with them. It just snaps right on, or off I should say, just snaps right off. Again, it's that motor memory. I'm used to it. When I'm running around hiking or doing stuff that's active, I just feel secure with that strap on there. It's a great little holster. I've had it for years, and I really like it. For an in the pants holster, I use this DeSantis. It's a model 106V5. It's a great holster, but when I first got it, I didn't like it because it was sloppy. What I mean by that is, when I first bought it, if you did this, the thing would just flop right out. I mean, to me, that's scary to me. I'm not going to be running around hiking, playing with my grandkids, and worry about this thing just flopping out. So what I did, and I don't know if you can see it, is I just tightened it up. I put a few stitches right here, just tightened it up. I mean, after all, these things are made for many different firearms, and that's brand and model specific. So I just tightened it up right here. Now this thing isn't going anywhere, but comes right out. I mean, so I feel confident now that I can wear this and not worry about this thing flopping out. The only thing I do wish is that this holster had more leather up here. I mean, I may stitch something in, I may not, I don't know. But I just wish right here, where it rubs against your skin, especially this part here, which is metal, I would prefer that just on this side, just there. And what's nice about this holster too is it has a hook. So this hook hooks on your belt when you pull that gun out. That hook is keeping your holster where it belongs. It's not coming out with the gun. It's a great idea. It's a fine holster, and it's inexpensive. Again, being cheap, but it's inexpensive, and it's a great holster for in the pants. With that slight modification, though. And on those hot summer days when I'm wearing my shorts, t-shirt, this is what I wear. I've had this holster for a long time. It's like a fanny or hip pack holster. You know, what I like about it is I don't like to carry my wallet in my back pocket or my pants because it bothers me. So this here, I can carry my wallet, my smartphone in here. There's plenty of room for it. The handgun goes right in here. Goes right in here. I carried my J-frame in here many years. The Caltech too. But this Ruger fits in there nicely, and you know, when it's a hot summer day, I mean, I just find it hard to conceal this wearing a pair of shorts and a light T-shirt. This is great. I love this thing. I mean, I've worn it so many times, hiking, shopping. You know, for those hot summer days, this is great. I mean, most of the ones I've seen are like this. I mean, look at this thing. It's huge. To me, this is just way too big. It's a great holster if you're going to carry a full-size 1911 or a big revolver, but I mean, for a small, you know, semi-auto or a small revolver pocket gun, no, it's just too big. It's way too big. This here is really no bigger or not much bigger than any of the fanny hip packs that you'll see at any hiking store. It's really great. You know, I wish there were a name on here. I would tell you what it is. There's no name. Oh, it's here. Made in China. Jeez. Oh boy. Well, I can't tell you what it is. It's made of leather, but if you ever see one of these smaller ones, grab it because it's really, really good. I just prefer it over the much bigger one. It's a great holster, and this I'm really pleased with this handgun. I've shot probably about 300 rounds, 400 rounds. Has not jammed yet. Very pleased with it. Very reliable, and I like the trigger. And now I don't know if they still offer the original, so I don't know if you have 2 choices or 3. But I like it. That's it. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.